Police raid a bootleg winery in a sewage plant. The police are also on the hunt for a man who's well-dressed and drawing penis pictures on the pavement with a bicycle. And seals are making Star Wars noises underwater, and scientists have no idea why. These are the weird stories for Thursday on Weird AF News. Hey, I'm your host, Jonesy, and I sound like a game announcer. A game show announcer, I mean. A game show. This is kind of a game.
Hey, mainstream news. Listen to Weird AF News with Jonesy.
Bootleg blueberry wine triggers a sewage plant raid. Who's making bootleg wine in a sewage plant? I want to know. You probably deserve to be raided. Bootleg blueberry wine. There's something festive about it, though. I'm making bootleg blueberry wine, and I'm making it for Christmas time. I got caught making bootleg blueberry wine, and now I'm gonna do that time for bootleg wine. Alan Maurice Stifel is facing 20 years in prison after the state law enforcement agents raided the sewage plant that he manages. He manages the sewage plant. He decided to make wine at his place of employment. Was Stifel threatening the welfare of the Rainsville, Alabama community with some form of sabotage? The article asks. According to Stifel, in a telephone interview, all he did was, "I was making blueberry wine, man. That's all." Well, the citizens of Rainsville, Alabama, voted to end a long dry spell by legalizing the sale of alcohol. On November 9th, the city published a list of the first 3 businesses receiving alcohol licenses. Unfortunately for Stifel, the Rainsville wastewater treatment plant is not on the list of acceptable legalized alcohol sales facilities. No, of course not. It's a sewage plant. You shouldn't be allowed to sell alcohol out of your sewage plant. Last I checked, that's not an acceptable place to be making alcohol as well. Very dubious. So what happened? Well, local law enforcement officials got an anonymous tip, and they raided the wastewater treatment plant. And the investigators and narcotics unit agents seized approximately 200 gallons of bootleg blueberry wine. This is going to be a song. You know that, right? The agents were assisted by agents from the Alabama Alcoholic Beverage Control Board, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, and the State Bureau of Investigation. Ooh, wow. They went all in on this blueberry wine bootleg operation. Stifel, the sewage plant bootleg wine operator, age 62, spent an hour in the jail before his release. And apparently he's going to be suspended from his job without pay during the investigation. I love how they just suspend all these people without pay. That's their big punishment. Oh, you know what, man? Yep, we're going to suspend. You should fire him immediately. He's operating a winery in a sewage plant. Hello? Are you insane? No, we need more information, okay? Did someone break into the sewer plant and make the bootleg winery? You know, we don't know. We need to find out more. What a bougie thing to make, too, in your bootleg operation. Blueberry wine. You know, you're not making like whatever they make, whiskey, bourbon, rye, anything like that. It's blueberry wine. It's like, yes, I think we'd like to make with my bootleg operation. Yes, some hard seltzer. Yes, why not? It's very popular these days. Have you guys heard of White Claw? Yeah, well, I'm doing a White Claw bootleg version. In a sewer plant, no doubt. Yes, just give it that extra edge to it, you know. Are you going to be drinking something that came from the sewer plant? You'll have to guess. Stifel has a wife, Kathy, who's a prominent figure in this story, apparently. She lives in the neighboring town. She struggles to understand why she has to turn her television set off to protect her family from the barrage of coverage. Well, yeah, you have to turn your TV off to protect your family from the barrage of coverage. You're going to get a barrage of coverage, Kathy. Here's a quote from her. "You see people that killed someone only make it on the news one time. Why is my husband getting so much attention with his bootleg operation? When they were cleaning up after the raid, one of the officers laughed and said, 'This is a joke. I can't believe they're making this kind of thing out of this.' The investigation is taking a toll on the Stifel family. Oh, goodness gracious. He lost his job. They just yanked everything out from under him. We're just sitting here, right before Christmas. It's hurting us. It's hurting us all, It's hurting. A raid by 4 local state agencies seems like a harsh response to making wine in the workplace. Is this a common occurrence in Alabama? The article asks. Well, not really, but the ABC board is very strict with their alcohol rules, apparently. There's no question the amount of wine seized at the WTTP violates Alabama's state regulations for home winemaking. Home winemakers, get this, are allowed to make 60 gallons a year spread out over 4 quarters. You can only have a maximum of 15 gallons on hand at any time, says one of the agents. The amount of wine seized begs the question, was Stifel selling the wine? Beyond blueberries, Stifel declined to discuss any further details of his case. The investigation is ongoing. Of course he's selling his wine. Are you stupid? That's what you do when you're making this amount of wine. You think this guy's drinking all that blueberry wine? Who can drink that much blueberry wine, all right? Blueberry wine is something that you sip occasionally, okay? It's a very special beverage, right? You don't find it everywhere. It's very rare, okay? This would seem to me to be some sort of like dessert wine, very similar to a port, which again makes it a hilarious thing to bootleg. But hey, man, it's Alabama. Anything goes, right? Let's just be thankful that Stifel wasn't making wine out of the sewage. Yeah. Hey, try my new sewer wine, man. Come on. Really give your immune system a real kick. If you can handle this, you can handle COVID. Police are on the hunt for a well-dressed man who drew penis pictures on the pavement by spinning the wheels of an electric bicycle. I didn't even know you could use a bicycle for such things. Wow, my childhood would have been way more adventurous if I knew you could make penises with the tires. I'm looking at a photo of the well-dressed man. He doesn't look like a guy that would draw penises with an electric bicycle, I have to tell you. He looks like a businessman, a very upstanding citizen of the community. Where did this take place, by the way? Perth, Australia, where apparently there is no crime whatsoever, where this is making headlines. I want to live there in Perth, where nothing is going on. The images of a penis are going to get headline news on the Perth Facebook police blotter. Now, I'm going to read the police report here with a terrible Australian accent, so please brace yourself. At approximately 4:50 on Monday, November 30th, a man caused damage to the ground on Murray Street in Perth. The man appeared to spin the wheels of an electric bicycle in order to draw explicit images with the rubber from the tires. This resulted in multiple images drawn onto the ground. The dingo ate your baby. That was terrible, by the way, but I try. What the hell? What do you more? What do you have? What more do you want? All right? Highly caffeinated American trying to do some impressions here to make you giggle. The police have a detailed description of the man on their Facebook page. He wore a black business jacket, white business shirt, light blue jeans, and gray running shoes. He's clearly dressed for work. Are you sure this isn't his job? Is this a new job post in the the Perth local government administration? Yeah, we want someone to really bring smiles to the community during 2020. It's been a terrible year. No one's laughing anymore. So let's hire a guy to make penises all over the place. That'll be funny. It'll buck up everybody's spirits leading into the holidays. Here's a quote from our penis graffiti artist. Well, I'm just happy to be here contributing to the overall spirit of the people in Perth. We've been dealing with a lockdown. We've dealt with quarantine. Some people have been sick. And I just want to make them smile with my penis drawings. Strange choice to do it with a bicycle, but I learned as a child to do it. I had my first bicycle, I remember the first penis I made with my tricycle, actually. I was about 5 years old. My mother, of course, grounded me for a bit. But then, I got better at it. And now look at full-time job drawing penises for the community, making everybody smile, making everybody laugh. That's what we do here in Perth. That, of course, was not an actual quote. Okay? I just want to set the scene. I have an imagination, and sometimes it goes wild. The Facebook post by the police attracted a lot of comments, and many people ridiculed the serious tone of this post. Here's a reply from somebody. I hear the police are still working on another case from the 80s where someone drew a penis on one of the blackboards in the English department of a high school. Could these cases be related? Maybe the criminal returned. Very funny, guys. Very funny. Another person wrote, whatever this man's punishment is, I'm sure he will have to write it out on the blackboard 100 times at recess. This comes after the local police last week went on the hunt for a graffiti artist that was responsible for a wave of cute dinosaur drawings spray painted across the Capitol. What? Dinosaur images? What is it? Is this all you got in Australia? Just people committing graffiti-related crimes? This is what the headlines are? Man, I wish I had those problems in Los Angeles. I wish. In Los Angeles, someone slips you a date rape drug and you wake up with a penis tattooed on your face. Yeah, that's what we have here. And I don't even want to get into what happens to you in Florida. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. Seals are making Star Wars noises at each other underwater, and we have no idea why, say scientists. Ooh, it's a science story. The sound of science. Sound of science. I wish I could afford to pay the licensing fee for that little Beastie Boys clip and play it before every science story. If you guys could send me thousands of dollars so I could do that, that would be very lovely, and it would improve the production quality of Weird AF News. The article starts with saying, above water, they sound like Wookiees. Below the ice, they sound like chirping, chattering robots. Beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Either way, the Weddell seals of Antarctica should have no trouble finding work in an upcoming Star Wars project. The Weddell seals' calls create an almost unbelievable, otherworldly soundscape under the ice, says a scientist named Paul. Ooh, tell us more, Paul the scientist. What's behind these bizarre sounds? It really sounds like you're in the middle of a space battle in Star Wars with laser beams and everything. Paul's very excited because in addition to being a nerdy scientist, he's a big fan of Star Wars. But here's the thing. Paul explains that you can't really hear these sounds because they're inaudible to the human ears. This guy's colleagues were able to detect the noises after 2 years of listening to these seals with a special hydrophone, which is an underwater microphone. It was installed in Antarctica's McMurdo Sound in 2017. Before researchers started recording, scientists knew about the 34 different seal calls audible to human ears. Now the team's research adds 9 new types of ultrasonic calls to the seal's repertoire. These sounds include trills, whistles, and alien-sounding chirps, sometimes composed of multiple harmonized tones. Oh man, if I could only hear these Star Wars sounds. What do you think's going on under there? Hey guys, it's cold as shit down here, right? I'm hungry. You guys see the new Star Wars? All right, Jonesy, you're being immature. Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to flex my Star Wars sound effect skills. I only have 2 sound effects. It's the look, and then it's the. But I think my Chewie's pretty damn good, right? I do an okay Wookiee. I could probably do some laser sound effects as well. Maybe by the end of this story, I'll do a couple of those for your edification. The article says, what the heck are all these high-frequency communications about? Well, the researchers aren't really sure. Until now, scientists had never detected ultrasonic vocalizations in seals, nor in any other fin-footed mammals like sea lions or walruses either. According to Paul, the sounds could just be bonus conversational elements to, quote, stand out over all the lower-frequency noise, like changing to a different channel for communication purposes. Yeah, well, they have theories, but they really don't know. I think they'll probably spend another several $1,000,000 to find out this useless piece of information. But, that's how science does it. They like to take all this money and really just, I don't know. Are they high? It's like you give them a bunch of money, they get stoned and decide to research whether or not lobsters like opera music or jazz. I mean, this is what they do, it seems like to me. Meanwhile, we have a planet in peril. How about the COVID, guys? Maybe find out what's going on with the COVID instead of what kind of sci-fi related projects the seals are impersonating underwater. Whatever. Hey, you do your thing, researchers. You do your thing. I like to think that the seals are actually just big Star Wars fans, at the end of the day, and that they're just doing impressions. That's really not what's going on, of course, but I like to dream. I live in the weirdest world possible. Yeah, a world where seals are imitating Star Wars way underwater. Why not? That's what I used to do when I was a kid. You just make sound effects. I was a lonely child in a closet, as you know. Just used to be like all by myself, just. That was my impression of the lightsabers. Any good? Send me a tip. Chewy, what are you doing? Oh, you're listening to Weird AF News. Cool.
Yay!
Well, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm ODing on caffeine, and I think I like it. Whoa! I'm ODing on caffeine, and I think I like it. I like it, man. Feed me the drugs, man. It's the holidays. Let's just do it. Big shout out. Shout outs are in order. Chris Benedict wrote me on Facebook a super cool message. Says, hey, Jonesy, if you're going to read this, do it like Christopher Walken, please. He wrote, I'll read some of it as Christopher Walken. Let me get through it. He said, hey, what's up, Jonesy? Here's a funny story out of Florida. Oh, yeah, he attached a Florida story. He says, I'm driving 420 miles. Maybe I'll hear it. I'm a box truck driver delivering really expensive dog food and toys and life jackets. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love my job. Sometimes I miss your Florida Fridays, so I started listening to Weird AF on Spotify. It's cool because it plays every episode I may have missed. It's just like one big Weird AF playlist. Anyway, Jonesy, thanks for all of the laughs. Just be yourself. Or Christopher Walken, be yourself. All right, Chris, I'll be myself. Yeah, I'm trying to be myself. Not everybody likes myself. Have you read the reviews? People are like, could you just read the weird news and move on, man? What is with all this other stuff, man? I don't get it. And I feel bad for those people because clearly they can't read. Because otherwise they would just read the weird news. And they wouldn't need someone to read it for them. I have hope for them, though, that they'll all at some point learn how to read. And spell. I've read their reviews. They can't spell either. Poor people. Really not my audience, to be honest with you. You know who is my audience? Oh, shoot. Ruby C. Ruby C joined the Patreon. Ruby C joined. Ruby, you know that song by what's that band? What is that band called? Ruby, so how. Ruby, so how. They're like kind of like a punk band, but kind of funny. They're like a funny punk band, which is weird because usually punk bands are, when you think of your classic punk bands, you think of like anarchists, they're angry at the government, a la, Sex Pistols, etc. This band is kind of silly, but doing it in a punk. What the hell's the name of that band? I can't remember. Anyways, Ruby, I'm sure you know. But big shout out to Ruby who joined the Patreon for the holidays. Thank you, Ruby. I appreciate your support, especially during the holidays. It means a lot, especially in 2020 where people's finances are really stuck. People are just struggling these days. So any sort of support is even more so greatly appreciated. So I really do want to thank you. And I wish you and your family happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever it is that you... A happy Festivus for the rest of us. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I have gas. Thank you, Ruby, for joining the Patreon. Please enjoy the extra content. I put up a very funny clip of one of my favorite comedy actors last night. involved in a sketch that was so funny, and I just appreciate this individual, and I've been very inspired by that person. So please enjoy the extra Weird AF content. Also, I got a couple reviews on iTunes that I would like to read. The first one is by Billy Bob Mullet. What a great name. Billy Bob Mullet. I mean, I could just picture this person. Billy Bob Mullet. I'm going to read the review in a way that someone named Billy Bob Mullet would speak. My favorite podcast. Yep. 5 stars, baby. I've been listening to Weird AF News and Jonesy for over 2 years. This is my #1 podcast for the 2nd year in a row, and for good reason. Jonesy's hilarious, man, and everything from the weird news, random jokes, and just overall banter just makes it great. Real swell. Jonesy is a one-man show. He's absolutely hilarious. Florida Fridays alone make it worth a listen. Come on, man. I recommend this to everyone. Wherever I can, I recommend it. Come on, man. Much love to Jonesy from NYC. Come on, man. Come on, man. I inserted all those come on mans, but because you're from NYC, Billy Bob Mullet, I'm gonna get, I didn't really read the review first before I didn't give it a test run, is what I'm saying. Now that I hear you're from NYC, you probably do not speak like that, so I apologize. I just thought it'd be funny to do a voice like that. What a cool name, by the way, Billy Bob Mullet. Big shout out, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Billy Bob Mullet. We also got a review from Yasir Khan on iTunes. Yasir. Thank you so much, buddy. 5 stars. Real news with a real dude, he writes. Hey, it's not every day you find a unique podcast that isn't something mainstream. Jonesy has me laughing by myself, usually in a crowded area, so people think I'm insane. But the only thing that's crazy is that more people aren't listening. If you're bored and you have nothing to do, this podcast is just for you. Yes, sir. You just wrote me what might be the greatest commercial for Weird AF News, actually. You could just read that as a commercial. It would be fabulous. What's really crazy is that more people aren't listening to Weird AF News. Ta-ta! Fabulous, man. And listen, don't be shy about laughing to yourself out in public. If you guys are listening to Weird AF News, it makes you laugh. Just let it out. Let it out. Isn't there a song about letting it out? Let it out. I don't know how it goes, but yeah. Let it out. Listen, if you hold in laughter, it does bad things for your digestive system. Science has told me this, okay? It's a thing called laughter constipation, and if you hold it in, it's no good. It's going to come out as a squeaky fart eventually anyways, and the person you're on a date with is going to be like, what the heck is wrong with you, squeaky farter? Just laugh like a normal person, okay? Maybe I made up all that, but it was funny. That's for damn sure. What else can I say? Well, it's Christmas Eve. I hope you're spending it with loved ones and you're safe and you're warm. I hope you're warming your cockles by the fire with some s'mores, some holiday s'mores perhaps. Ooh, yes, holiday s'mores with some bootleg blueberry wine by a crackling fire. And I do sound effects, so here's the crackling fire. Have you guys ever put on that Yuletide log and just leave it on your computer, let it crackle away while you eat your s'mores and drink your bootleg wine? Your bootleg Mike's Hot Lemonade. Another bougie bootleg series. Someone should just make that. It's called the Bougie Bootleg Series. Instead of making rye and this sort of stuff, they make, or even beer, bootleg beer. I don't know if, do they even call it bootleg beer? It's just making beer at home. I think you can just make beer at home. The Bougie Bootleg Series would be like bootleg hard lemonade, bootleg cider, bootleg hard seltzer, these sorts of things. Right? Yes, please enjoy my bootleg Prosecco. Let's take it on the yacht, baby, yes. So what else did I want to tell you? Oh, yeah, I hope you're having a happy holiday. I'm going to definitely put out a Christmas episode. You better believe that. And I can't promise it's going to be anything but ridiculousness, because who can take it seriously? I'm going to be working on Christmas. Why take it seriously? Let's just make it fun. I'm going to write a very hilarious Christmas song for you, and I'll put that on there. You better believe it. And join the Patreon for the holidays. How about that? Do Jonesy a solid. Go to weirdafnews.com and click on Patreon. Or click on the little banner that says, buy Jonesy a cup of coffee. So buy Jonesy some coffee for Christmas. Or you can make a PayPal donation. funnyjones@gmail. That's the PayPal address. I have it. Yes, I do. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you tomorrow, guys.